This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. We do have some breaking news to tell you about. Crews are on the scene of a garage fire in Orrington. Our reporter on scene tells us the fire is at 630 Brewer Lake Road in Orrington in an attached garage. Brewer, Holden, Dedham, Lucerne, and Orrington fire crews are on scene. We are told neighbors safely removed the family dog from the home and no injuries have been reported thus far. We hope to have more information on our later broadcasts. In other news, state overdose death data is sparking urgent warnings from local recovery advocates. While overall state data shows Maine is on track for a fourth consecutive annual decrease in fatal overdoses, some parts of Maine are actually seeing little to no improvement, and advocates are worried it could actually get worse. Our Grace Blanchard has details.
Recovery advocates are sounding the alarm on the latest overdose death data from the state.
Just in the last 3 months, 16 people have died of an overdose just in Bangor.
The latest state monthly overdose report indicates the total number of confirmed and suspected fatal overdoses between January and June is 182. 23 of those deaths happened in Bangor.
While overdose deaths, thankfully, are dropping in Maine overall and in the nation, that's not happening here in Bangor and Penobscot County, and we're not talking about it nearly enough.
The data highlights that service hubs like Portland and Bangor have not seen an improvement in overdose mortality in the last 2 years.
It's not getting better. It's not getting remarkably worse. It's just stagnant, and we'd all like to really see those numbers improve.
Last year, Bangor recorded 35 suspected and confirmed fatal overdoses.
So the numbers and the data have continued to be concerning for us in this area.
Bangor health officials say the city continues to deploy its overdose response team and work with community partners to distribute the overdose reversal medication naloxone.
There's always things that can be improved, no doubt, but we also have to really think about the highest risk factors and how we can address those. Encouraging people to not use alone is one of those.
Advocates caution that a failure to spotlight the crisis could lead to a surge in deaths.
We need to let people know we care, and we need to let them know there are resources and that they should reach out because too many people are dying.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Former Governor Paul LePage has scored a key endorsement for his congressional campaign. The National Rifle Association has officially endorsed Paul LePage for Maine's 2nd Congressional District. The chairman of the NRA Political Victory Fund and executive director of the NRA Institute for Legislative Action broke the news at a campaign event in Holden today. He cited LePage's record of protecting the Second Amendment.
Governor LePage's record on the Second Amendment is impeccable. He has been a stalwart supporter of our members, of gun owners across Maine, and really stands for constitutional freedom. So the choice was really clear for us in this race.
LePage said if elected to Congress, he would seek to repeal any federal policy that does not align with the Second Amendment, and said he is not open to any compromises when it comes to gun rights.
I will defend the Second Amendment extremely, to the extreme. I do not believe that government is the answer. I think the Constitution gives us the ability to own and carry guns. I think we need to protect that, and I would fight against anyone trying to ban guns in the United States.
LePage also took aim at his Democratic opponent, Matt Dunlap's Second Amendment record, claiming Dunlap has been accepting funding from organizations that do not support the Second Amendment. A spokesperson for Dunlap's campaign said that Dunlap is a Maine sportsman and longtime supporter of the Second Amendment. Meanwhile, independent candidate for Governor Rick Bennett is calling for transparency in Maine's elections. At a gathering in Auburn earlier today, Bennett called on his opponents to disclose who is influencing their campaigns. Bennett said, quote, while Maine families are struggling with higher housing costs, higher energy bills, higher health care costs, and a government that too often seems to work better for insiders than for the people, the political establishment is preparing to flood this election with outside money and hidden influence. So today, I call on my opponents to do the right thing to help bring down the carnival of corruption that has infiltrated our politics, to help us restore trust in government, end quote. Switching gears now, multiple states have been hit by cyber attacks targeting water utilities. Although Maine was not one of those states, local officials are taking the threats seriously. Our reporter Calvin White has more.
Water treatment facilities across several states, most notably in Minnesota and Michigan, have been breached by hackers. In light of the attacks, local municipal water departments are making sure their systems are secured.
We've taken the steps to make sure we're safeguarded, and we've taken the steps to make sure if we think we are compromised, this is our action plan. We're being very proactive in it rather than it being a reactive situation.
According to the Brewer Water Department, the wave of cyber attacks pose serious threats to public drinking water. If breached, water plant workers can be locked out of their computers and be unable to control the plant. Once access to the plant is lost, hackers can infiltrate the programs and alter things such as chemical levels.
So that if they were able to get into your system, they could change your dosing as far as your chlorine, your fluoride, things like that. You could up it to a point where it'd be dangerous for people. So that's the kind of stuff we look out for.
At the Brewer Water Department, Superintendent Rodney Butler says they are keeping a close eye on the plant's system itself, but not fully relying on the technology to catch discrepancies.
Every 2 hours we're doing checks on stuff besides sitting at the SCADA system. We're physically going out through the plant and recording values and making sure that everything's what it should be.
Butler says this combination of workers observing the plant and staying on top of the system makes it harder for hackers to gain access to these vital utilities. In Brewer, Calvin White, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine's credit unions have come together to help feed those who are facing food insecurity. Together, they raised $100,000 for Good Shepherd Food Bank through their 48 to Feed the State initiative. Elsie Baldacci, president of the Maine Credit Union, says the initiative is a powerful example of what makes the credit union movement so special. She says each individual contribution mattered, but together they created an impact that none of them could have achieved alone. And as another round of high heat settles over Maine, some of Bangor's most vulnerable residents are facing it with one less place to cool off. The closure of the Together Place has left questions about where people can turn when temperatures climb. Our Alex Schley has more.
With temperatures climbing into the 90s, finding a place to cool off can be more than just a matter of comfort. For many, it can be a matter of health and safety. For years, the Together Place provided an indoor escape for residents from extreme heat. But after the nonprofit closed last week due to financial challenges, that resource is no longer available.
At Parks and Recreation, we have the Beth Pankow Aquatic Center here that we're at now. We're open 7 days a week with general swim, 1 to 4:30. We also have the Dakin Pool available, which is just off Stillwater Avenue on Pine Street. In addition to that, we put together a cooling station down the waterfront.
The cooling station is a large sprinkler that will remain running as long as the current stretch of hot weather continues.
It's really up to each local community to determine. It's the local emergency managers in collaboration with their municipal officials whether they open one up.
Officials say while many people associate cooling centers with those experiencing homelessness, they're also used for older adults, people with medical conditions, or anyone without access to air conditioning.
The big thing we're concerned about is those that are vulnerable, that maybe are shut-ins, that don't have anybody keeping an eye on them to make sure they're drinking water. Even a fan can help keep people cool. And knowing your limits, too, on what you can do for activities is a big thing.
We reached out to Bangor City Manager Carolyn Lear and the city's communication manager, David Warren, to ask how the city plans to address the loss of the Together Place as an indoor cooling option. Neither Lear nor Warren responded to our multiple attempts to contact them. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And let's pause now and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, thank you. Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes. 207-263-3421. We're talking weather out there for today. Whew, it was steamy. Look at this. Highs of 90 here in Bangor. Also Millinocket, 91 Bar Harbor. It was hot everywhere across the area for today. And this air is just not moving. There's no breeze to cool us down. So that will continue through tomorrow and likely into Saturday as well before some relief gets in here Sunday, Monday. Until then, though, this is a heat advisory advisory for tomorrow. Again, the air is not moving. High temperatures, low 90s. Please take it easy outside again tomorrow with high temperatures back in the low to mid 90s. This looks like we got some rain on the way, but probably not tonight. There could be a scattered shower later on. Most of us will stay dry. A better chance for rain gets in here late tomorrow night, but more so on Saturday, as this pattern is pretty active right now. But this should bring us some rain Saturday. Behind that, it does get a bit cooler around here Sunday and Monday. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is increasing clouds with low temperatures near 70. Your full forecast is coming up.
Jeff, thank you so much. And coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, more of your local news.
I went to work in the woods after high school. The harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. That's why we organized. We made them listen. People are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She has served the billionaires. She has served herself. We are getting screwed, and I'm running to change that.
Government That Works PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
Kirk Fisher is a motorcycle attorney with first responder experience. He protects fellow riders and those in danger, fighting fires and fighting for your rights. Experienced, determined, and dedicated. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. Look for motorcycles, or Kirk Fisher will be looking for you.
At China Walk on Broadway in Bangor, we're serving up your Chinese favorites. Our food is delicious, our staff is friendly, and our service is fast. Open Tuesday through Sunday, call ahead, order online, or just stop by. Enjoy our indoor dining for the full experience, or get takeout that the whole family will enjoy. We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied. China Walk on Broadway in Bangor, where tradition meets flavor.
They've got the sharpest pencil in town. Have they just sit around that showroom figuring deals and whittling that old pencil down? They know that if you buy once, you're gonna be back. So instead of buying one, you're buying two, and that's a fact. They've got the sharpest.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage, labor and delivery centers are closing, hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. Researchers from Bar Harbor have started a multi-year study to better understand black bears. Our Sam Miller tells us the study covers more than just the bear necessities.
Amidst numerous sightings on Mount Desert Island in the past decade, researchers at the College of the Atlantic launched a study that focuses on the population, relationships, and movement patterns of black bears near Acadia National Park, and they've invited the public to help. The project aims to assess if there's a resident population of bears in the area and how they're using the land. The study is led by Dr. Brittany Slaybach, the Kim M. Wentworth Chair of Environmental Studies at COA. She says community engagement has been very successful and has contributed to their work.
We have over 50 bear sightings both in the park and outside of the park, so we really appreciate people reporting those. And that, again, it's helping us kind of make sense of, you know, if we see something at a snare or we don't, and like where the bears are hanging out.
Slaybach and her team of student researchers use passive hair snares to collect DNA samples, consisting of barbed wire wrapped around numerous trees and covered in a scent lure. Curious bears may leave behind strands of hair, which allows researchers to extract DNA and get a better idea of how the bears interact with their environment. Slaybach says the study provides insight to the MDI bear population, which will be used to support public safety and park conservation.
bears can get themselves into trouble sometimes, and we want to make sure that we're reducing conflict and keeping bears safe and keeping people safe. And so understanding what the population may look like on the island, transients versus residents, would really help us address management needs.
If you see a bear on your property or out in the wild, you can report it via email at mdibearproject@gmail.com. In Bar Harbor, Sam Miller, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
And still to come on ABC7 News at 6, the latest in sports and your full forecast.
Troy Jackson bragged about being one of Graham Plattner's earliest supporters. When the news of Plattner's Nazi tattoo came out, Jackson stood with Plattner. When Plattner blamed women for getting raped because they get drunk, Jackson stood by Plattner. And when the media reported Plattner was violent toward women, Jackson stood again with Plattner.
I want to say thank you very much to Troy.
Don't be fooled by Troy Jackson. He's another phony we can't trust. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home. So skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
Experience matters. After a devastating attack, she led the way forward, enacting historic bipartisan reforms that made us safer. Susan saved 250,000 Maine jobs. She protects access to quality health care. And she delivered the Social Security Fairness Act, boosting the incomes of 25,000 Maine retirees. America's most bipartisan senator, always working for Maine.
I'm Susan Collins, and I've approved this message.
Hey, Maine, think you're wicked smart? Well, put your knowledge to the test with me, Ken Jennings, on Jeopardy! Weeknights at 7:30 on ABC7.
Welcome back in, everyone. A local golf course just celebrated its 100-year anniversary. Our Max Sturm has the story.
2026 marks the 100th anniversary of the Lucerne Golf Club in Denham, Maine, and it was celebrated with a commemorative tournament on Thursday.
You've got to take advantage and mark these milestones.
We just thought it would be a really neat thing to honor the course being around for 100 years.
A lot of history is packed into those 100 years. Current owners Matt Kirtland and Nora Gardner wanted to make sure that history was represented at the event.
When we decided to celebrate our 100-year anniversary here, including the history was critical.
Former owner Roger Tracy, who bought and revitalized the course in 1992, received a call from general manager Michael Webb to come back and participate.
I was very honored. I have a lot of history with the course, and Mike called me, I don't know, a month or so ago and said what they were doing, and then it clicked. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm glad he asked me to come.
John McTague was asked to kick off the event with a ceremonial tee-off. For the 30-year employee, the course holds a lifetime of sentimental value.
I take the course like if it was my own. I've been a kid and played here. Yep, caddied. It's nice to see all the people here.
Even the history of the game itself was brought back to Lucerne.
I chased down this putter from 1925-26, and I figured, how fun would that be to play with a 100-year-old club on the 100th anniversary. It is just great.
Kirtland and Gardner purchased this historic golf course back in 2023, and their goal is now to make sure Lucerne is remembered in another 100 years.
The idea is to make this first a top 5 9-hole course for here at Lucerne in the state of Maine, and then ultimately to make it a top 10 9-hole course in the country.
So it's also great to see it kind of coming back to its glory.
In Dedham, Max Sturm, ABC 7 and Fox 22 Sports.
Just another great story from our Max Sturm. The Boston Red Sox have not cooled off for a second, even after their 15-game winning streak comes to an end. In fact, they've got another streak brewing coming into Thursday. Wednesday night's win marked their 7th in a row. Folks, on June 24th, the Red Sox were 14 games under 500. 42 days later, they're 11 games above it, which is the first time they've done that in that short of a span in team history. Just incredible stuff. Here's interim manager Chad Tracy on the team staying hot.
Really, really good baseball. And like I said it before the game, I mentioned everybody doing their job. And I mentioned when you get good starts, and in today's case, timely hits. You know, Wilson started it with a grindy at bat in the first inning to throw a breaking ball out there in left center and get us on the board. We got 2 out hit from Durbin. We got another home run from Abreu. So we scored when we were supposed to, and our bullpen was lights out. So when you get that formula and everybody's doing their part, it's led to this.
The Sox take on the White Sox later this evening. Do not forget, football is back tonight. The Cardinals take on the Panthers in the Hall of Fame game at 8 p.m. We'll have the highlights for you tonight and tomorrow morning on Fox and ABC. But for now, that's all the time we have for sports. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
All right, the heat is on. We have 90s back in the forecast for tomorrow and Saturday, followed by somewhat cooler 80s in the air for us Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But overall, look at the lows today, near 60. We'll have lows tonight down near 70, so not much relief tonight into tomorrow as well. Look at the highs today. 90 here in Bangor, also Millinocket, 91 for Bar Harbor, way above average today, and for tomorrow, and for Saturday, followed by a bit cooler getting in here, probably Sunday into Monday. And we are not alone. Most of the country now is just baking with summertime temperatures here. Hundreds across the plains again today. Now, no hundreds for us, but just know the heat's going to be on again for tomorrow, and it could drive you inside for a while. Thus, there is a heat advisory posted. This is the Weather Service, your tax dollars saying, hey, it's going to be hot. Take it easy out there. It's going to be humid as well, so please be careful outside for tomorrow. All right, so going forward, though, it does get better, kind of. 93 for tomorrow, 90 for Saturday, 88 for Sunday, and then really 82 about 5 days from today. Okay, going forward, though, here we are. So the heat is on through tomorrow, through Saturday. It's steamy, too. Dew points hanging out pretty much in around 70 right now. That will likely give us some dense fog tonight as temperatures meet the dew points after midnight or so. Dense fog in the area. And then maybe some rain tomorrow, more so probably for Saturday. It's not a great chance for rain. All right, so the wind out there, not doing much at all. It's not cooling us off at all. It's going to likely stay around 5 miles per hour through tomorrow into Sunday before a front comes through on Sunday afternoon. So thus, dense fog is likely again tonight. If you're out driving, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m., please watch out for scenes like this across the area then. So we could use some rain, of course. We are in drought again across our region. This came out today, the drought monitor did, and you can see levels 1 and 2 across the state now. So again, some rain is needed. It will cool us down as well. It's likely that's not going to happen, though, for a bit. This looks promising, right? But this is all going to fall apart tonight. There could be a shower that squeaks through late. Most of us will stay dry. A better chance for rain gets in here late tomorrow night. It's not a good one, but even better chance gets in here on Saturday. This system here that will cool us down behind that on Sunday with highs back in the 80s on Sunday. As Futurecast shows, maybe a pop-up shower later tomorrow. Most of us won't see that. Maybe a pop-up shower later on Friday night and a Saturday. Again, this is not going to be a big widespread rain event. And then overall, it gets better, though. Here's later on Saturday, a better chance for rain gets in here. Any of these showers could be locally heavy with some locally heavy rainfall. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is maybe a storm late. Most of us will not see that. About 20% coverage on that. With not so low temperatures down near 70. So not much relief tonight. Tomorrow, here we go. Partly cloudy, highs back in the low to mid 90s tomorrow. There could be a storm in there. Again, most of us will not see that. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows some relief after Saturday. Sunday back in the 80s, maybe mid 80s by Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and we will be right back.
Situated in Jonesboro on the coast of Maine lies Barren View Golf Course, a true links course that's a treat for golfers of all skill levels. We feature a driving range, putting green, practice sand trap, pro shop, and snack bar. Open 7 days a week. Please call ahead for a tee time.
Mainers work hard.
Our leaders should too, like Senator Susan Collins, who just cast her 10,000th vote.
The first senator in U.S. history to reach that mark without ever missing a vote.
Collins worked with Democrats to keep the Gulf of Maine open for our fishermen, kept our shipbuilders on the job with new funding, and Collins expanded health care for rural Mainers. No drama, just hard work and results. Call. Ask Senator Collins to keep working hard for Mainers.
Bob's Discount is about to go even further. The Massachusetts sales tax holiday is officially the weekend of August 8th and 9th, but you can pre-select right now at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture.
30 years living that Washington, D.C. lifestyle. That'll change a person. Getting rich from insider stock trading should be illegal. But Susan Collins doesn't think so. Susan Collins wants to keep it so senators can play the stock market, make millions of dollars doing it. Why we struggle to pay for gas, groceries, health insurance, the basics. For them to get all that money, why we're paying more, it's not right. It's not right. Tell Susan Collins to stop this congressional stock trade.
Jado Highlands Golf Course, nestled in the woods of Lincoln, just a short drive from Bangor or Holton. Designed for players of all abilities, Jado features everything a golfer desires. 18 fully irrigated holes, driving range, practice green, and a golf shop with instruction available. Jado maintains quality course conditions while proudly displaying some of the most scenic views in Maine. Challenge yourself to a round of golf surrounded by the beauty of Maine at Jado Highlands Golf Course.
I'm a fifth-generation logger and the son of a public school teacher. A dad who worked 16-hour days, and that still wasn't enough. So when they tried to replace us with foreign labor, I led a blockade of the border. Susan Collins didn't help us then, and she's certainly not helping us now. We're all getting crushed out here. Healthcare, housing, heat. We've got to fight back. We're all hungry for it. Maine is ready for a change. I'm Troy Jackson. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Maine's community colleges are getting $5 million to boost Maine's workforce. The federal grant will provide specialized short-term training that prepares students for work at Maine's small and mid-sized manufacturers. A statement says the funds will expand access to several classes, including fabrication, machining, welding, blueprint reading, and quality assurance. More than 600 students will get the no-cost training, which will be offered on a rolling basis approximately every 4 to 8 weeks. Well, finally tonight, Castine's waterfront may be quiet in the winter months, but the same cannot be said when the calendar turns to August. Our Doug Banks spoke with the town's harbor master to see how they're keeping up.
I pretty much know everybody in town and everybody knows me.
Thank you, Scott. You're welcome.
I think it's helpful to have that faith.
For the past 8 years, Scott Vogel has been the town of Castine's harbor master.
I was born in Castine 75 years ago, and I've been on the water ever since.
He says the coastal town becomes quiet over the winter, but once it's time to put the docks and dinghies in the water,
it's more fun.
He calls August their busiest time of the year, averaging around 25 to 30 landings per day. This year in particular, they've added semi-quincentennial events to their schedule, including recently hosting 3 large sailboats from Morocco and the Maine-built Harvey Gamage.
Castine's a pretty unique little harbor. We've got 200 and some boats in the harbor, and it's pretty full.
And that doesn't include their next-door neighbors, Maine Maritime Academy, where you'll find the historic Schooner Bowdoin and the state of Maine.
Incredible moment for Castine.
The Academy's new training vessel arrived at its home port last month, and it's considerably bigger than its predecessor. Vogel says that adjustment is going better than expected.
The stern of the ship is way further west than I thought it was going to be.
The orchestra of heavy machinery stems from construction on the new pier, which the Academy's president says is still on track to be completed next summer.
While Maine Maritime Academy Waterfront works in harmony with the town of Castine and the harbor master, we never missed a single day of marine operations while building that pier. And I don't believe the town did either, so it's a great concerted effort.
They've been very accommodating about everything they do down here.
Vogel credits his dockhands and the community that raised them with being able to keep up with the busy summer.
2 of the 3 guys that work on the town crew were born and brought up here.
In Castine,
it's just a close-knit group.
Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A great story there by our Doug Banks. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. And for more, you can join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
Them to contact them, and that's what I did.
Well, then why were you trying to give him the money?
Because he walked in when I was doing it, when I was at the counter trying to pay the money.
I was going to file the countersuit, and I seen her there.
If you don't pay the restitution, they are going to arrest you, and you're going to go to jail.
Right.
Because that's part of a plea that you took.
Right.
To make restitution. So you're going to go to jail if you don't do that. Do you understand?
I do.
Good. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
She knows what's right.
All my tools were gone, and the roommates didn't know anything about it.
Allegedly, he was missing some tools.
There's no sense in having roommates if I can't trust them.
Go our way and have a nice day.
I had it all piled on top of a piece of plywood with rollers underneath it, so when I backed the truck up, it all slid off.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, we have some breaking news to tell you about. Crews are on the scene of a garage fire in Orrington. Our reporter on scene tells us the fire is at 630 Brewer Lake Road in Orrington in an attached garage. Brewer, Holden, Dedham, Lucerne, and Orrington fire crews are on scene there. We're told neighbors safely removed the dog from the home, and so far, no one has been injured. We hope to have more information in our later broadcasts. Also tonight, state overdose death data is sparking urgent warnings from local recovery advocates. While overall state data shows Maine is on track for a fourth consecutive decrease in fatal overdoses, some parts of Maine are actually seeing little to no improvement. Our Grace Blanchard has details.
Recovery advocates are sounding the alarm on the